All right. Well, welcome back to the iWealth podcast. Today we got Brad Connors, and we're talking specifically about financial advisors, and in particular, how do you do the process of picking one?
Yeah.
Right? Because there's everybody's sister's brother's got their guy, right? Who they know, and he's the man. Like, how does that process even work?
Yeah, it's so interesting because, who is a financial advisor? That's another question. Like, what kind of degree do they have? What kind of licenses do they have or not have? And yeah, it's a chicken soup, like initials after people's names and things like that on who to get. You know, I think that the number one thing is someone holds himself out as a financial advisor. The buzzword is fiduciary. Are you a fiduciary? And what that really means is you're going to act in the client's best interest. Hopefully, you're not dealing with anybody that's going to act in their interest and not your best interest. But that really boils down to, Matt, like choosing the right financial advisor really comes from a gut feel, but you should have some questions going into it. Like, what would you think a question would be if you're gonna? I come in off the street.
Can you make me money?
Can you make me money? How much money can you make me? Can you guarantee?
How much money can you make me? Right. Let's just get right to it.
Well, and who's gonna say no, right? But how are you gonna make me money? Might be a better question. How do you make people money? Because some people deal with individual stocks, some people deal with exchange traded funds, some people like gold, some people don't. Like, there's all kinds of mutual funds. Like, how do you make people money would be a good question to ask.
Can you make me money at all expenses?
Yeah. Can I give you a check? Just make me some money. Yeah. So you need to ask questions about character, though. Like, when you walk in, we've talked about some of this on some of the past episodes we did. Like, when you walk in, you really want to look to see if there's maybe a picture of their family on their desk. Like, what's important to them? What are they trying to highlight in their office or wearing and those type of things to stand out? Like, those are character things. That's not just financial advisor. To me, if I go see a doctor or if I see a lawyer, like, I'm looking for those things because I want to work with somebody that might have some empathy or that puts family first or considers those. Like, you kind of want to understand that piece of it, which is odd because it has nothing to do with money, right?
Yeah.
And so when you're picking that advisor, I tell clients this all the time. I might be one of the smartest guys you'll ever meet, which is probably not.
You tell the clients this all the time?
Yeah. However, you don't feel like we have a connection, then you shouldn't work with me.
Okay.
Right? So it's not just, let me see your IQ test.
Okay.
And then, you got a great IQ, so we're going to work with you as my financial advisor. There has to be a smell test in there, right? There has to be, does this feel right? Is he asking questions that are important to me? Is he really learning about me? And that would be the other side of it. You want to make sure that they're asking questions to understand who you are instead of just spewing information about how good and smart they are.
Yes. Yeah, do they actually care?
There's too many people out there, too many young advisors when they first get started that think that they have to educate their clients so that the client thinks that they're smart enough to manage their money. And
it's just the opposite.
It's not that.
It's just the opposite.
No, you have to understand who the client is so you can help them. And so again, we're talking about how to pick a financial advisor, and we haven't even got to the money side of things yet. We're talking all about personality. So what's the office look like? How do they appear? What questions are they asking you?
And in your words, what's the smell test?
From a standpoint of, well...
Not physically smell.
Exactly. But if they just want to talk about themselves and their own family and don't really want to figure out who I am and what makes me tick as the potential client, that's a turnoff to me. If they want to tell me how smart they are and how many degrees they've got, that's a turnoff to me.
Yep.
I want empathy, and I want them to truly understand who I am when they're asking me questions.
Oftentimes when I do that type of meeting, I'll ask Carol, like that's my wife, I'll say, what's your vibe?
Yep.
Right? And you call it a smell test, I call it the Carol test.
Yeah.
Right? Because my wife has good intuition around a lot of that piece of it. It's way better than me.
Yeah.
Right? I'll walk out and I'll go, yeah, it seemed really good. Let's totally do that. Right? And she'll go, let's stay away. And I don't oftentimes catch it.
Right.
So.
Yeah, for sure. And then once you get past that and it feels right, then you should talk about experience. You know, where do you typically invest money? You know, is it at a brokerage house? Is it individual stocks, mutual funds? Like, where do you invest money? What is your thoughts about risk? What are your thoughts about different areas of the market, international versus domestically? Like, you can get into some of those. What tools do you use to assess my risk? as a client of yours? How do you, put me in an account that's got 70% stocks and 30 bonds? Or 60 to 40? Like, how do you determine that, Brad? How's that works? You'd ask questions like that or be told the answers to that before it even gets there about this is how we manage money for people. And then the last thing I would say, Matt, is you're really looking for clues around financial planning. What I mean is there's a lot of advisors that just want to talk about their returns and about the mutual funds. Instead, they should be talking about you holistically. They should be asking questions like, do you have a will? How about your power of attorney? Who's on that? Healthcare directives? When's the last time you did a beneficiary change or a review? When will you turn on Social Security? Like, those are planning questions. Those planning questions should be part of that first discussion as well. Does that make sense?
So it sounds like it's not one meeting.
Probably not, but I will tell you this. Carol, that you referred to, your wife, she will know in a meeting if they pass the Carol test or not. So it might be in one meeting because you're not going to do all the financial planning in one meeting. For sure, you're not going to get that done. What you're really after is, does this make sense? Does my gut feel okay? Can I entrust my life savings with this guy, girl, or firm to be able to take care of things? If I died, can they take care of my wife and my kids just like I want to do the planning for them? That's really what you're after that first meeting. Isn't that interesting? Because you would think it's like, show me your degrees. Show me how much you know.
Yeah, and in the medical community, sometimes that's what it's like. In the medical community, just how many years of experience, and then did you do the work?
Right. So. Yeah. So I think it's just really important to get those things out in front right away in a conversation. That first hour, you should know whether this is somebody that you want to continue to date and maybe get married and have them help you with their stuff. Like, it's a dating situation, and talk to 2 or 3 different ones and find out what's the best fit.
So last question with this. How do you think through if I know somebody versus like walking into an office where I have no connection to them, right? How do you think about that? Because everyone knows 2 or 3 people that do the financial advising piece of it versus like, if you're like, okay, well, we're going to audition, a handful of people to do this, right? How do you separate that? Or is that a better thing that you're connected to them through your church group or through your bowling league or through your whatever, just because you're like, okay, I have some previous knowledge. Does that weigh into the equation of this at all, or does it not?
Yeah, I think it does. And the reason where it does is because it's character and it's core values. If you know that person outside of their office, you might know some of those things already. You might know about their family. You might know about their children. You already have something in your mind about that person. Maybe you don't know them, but the person that referred you to them is a really good character person. That's one of your best friends, and you trust their intuition. So it makes it a little bit warmer situation. And I won't do a handful, but I do 3. I would do 2 to 3 conversations before you make a decision, just to see what feels right. Yeah.
I like the analogy of dating.
Yeah, you're dating.
Dating, never going to get married.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we will see you back here next time.
All right. Thank you, Matt.